there, welcome back to another small ramble with me, writer and mental health advocate Tobe Allen, also one half of the BARROW Podcast, the show I'm doing with my mum, where we talk about divorce, dysfunctional families, and mental illness while writing a memoir together. I recently edited and put together a new episode of the podcast, and it was one in which I sort of went into a bit more detail talking about my various diagnoses and experiences with mental health. And one of the topics that got brought up in this episode was suicidality, right? So basically my relationship with suicide and suicidal ideation and various things. And it just brought up one of the interesting or complex factors of doing this project overall, which is that in writing the memoir with mum, obviously, and doing the podcast, of course, but obviously we are sharing things with one another that we probably haven't shared before. And in the introduction to the podcast itself, I can never remember the wording exactly because we recorded the intro like a very long time ago at this point. But we basically say that, you know, we're coming together to have the conversations we've never had, right? So that aspect of coming together to have conversations we've never had, it's like I'm still dealing with an impulse and a pretty natural one, which is that I suppose I want to, it's hard not to get rid of the instinct to sort of like protect a parent or, you know, a child, I'm sure vice versa, from things about your story that you know will make them uncomfortable or that will hurt them. So talking to mum about, like, you know, the reality that, you know, it's been a pretty strong impulse in me to sort of end my life at various points. Yeah, I mean, that's a very hard thing to admit. And I suppose I question doing it in some ways. Like, you're talking to the person who has given you life and you're telling them that you don't want, or at a certain point have not wanted, your life that they have given to you. That's a really tricky thing to navigate, and it sort of puts me in mind of why suicide is so difficult to talk about, and why I think families are often shocked when people take their lives, because there's often this feeling of like there were no warning signs, they never said anything. And it's like, yeah, because it's almost impossible to speak about. Like, it's such an impossible thing to say, you know, especially to family. So I suppose that brought me in mind of all that recently. But the other thing that, you know, the point that I wanted to make was more like eradicating that hurdle of wanting to protect mum from things about my life. You know, if you're going to do a project like this, if you're going to examine your life, if you're going to write nonfiction, if you're going to, whatever it is, you have to push past those instincts, and you are going to have to do it in a conscious way, I suppose. It feels very unnatural. It feels like yeah, I definitely shouldn't be saying this. I definitely shouldn't be having this conversation. And that is in itself this really big challenge of doing this thing. But yeah, like, if you want to get your story out there, if you want to say those big, difficult things, it's going to come at a cost, and it's going to be very uncomfortable. But yeah, pushing past that awkwardness. Again, to what end? I think that there is an end point to this. I think that doing it is for the better, ultimately. But, you know, I could be wrong about that. So, yeah, just a heads up on that. It's tricky. It's really hard. But I am trying to not fall into the trap of wanting to protect mum, because, you know, it's like ripping off a band-aid. It's like we've already started now. It's like you can't really hold back at this point. So yeah, that's what's on my mind at the moment. If you have anything you want to contribute, or if any of this resonates, then leave a comment, and I guarantee if you like this, you find it interesting, you'll definitely like the Barrow, so come check that out. Links to further information are in the description to today's video. That's it for now. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.